And now we move on to our second leading story. The Democratic Republic of Congo DRC's opposition leader Felix Tshisekedi has accused President Joseph Kabila and the President of the Electoral Commission, Corneille Nangaa, of declaring war on the Congolese people by announcing that there would be no presidential elections until 2019. Speaking after a meeting in Kinshasa with a coalition of opposition groups in the country, Felix Tshisekedi opposed the new 2019 election period declaration and demanded the resignation of Mr Kabila from power. This comes after chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission, Corneille Nangaa, had hinted on Wednesday that elections in the DRC may not hold until mid-2019. That announcement, as expected, has now generated a lot of reactions across the DRC. And here are some of the reactions.
Congo's Electoral Commission has announced that the much-anticipated election cannot take place until the end of 2018 at the earliest. According to the country's Independent National Electoral Commission, it will need another 504 days to prepare for the vote. The delay has raised fresh security worries in the vast nation. We will not allow that. Whether they like it or not, come December 31st, whether it rains or snows, we will end this regime. I tell you, whether it rains or snows, we will have elections in December 2017. Otherwise, Kabila will provoke a civil war in this country. It will be catastrophic. The polls were due this year under a transitional deal aimed at avoiding fresh political bloodshed after President Joseph Kabila refused to step down when his second mandate ended in December 2016.
On the side of the majority in power, it is estimated that the remarks of Corneille Nangaa, the president of the INEC, is a proposal that takes into account the technical constraints. According to Dieudonné Mwanze, the communicator of the platform in power, the most important thing is to have good elections, and these elections must take into account all the imperative necessary for them to really take place in a realistic take. What we're waiting for today is to have realistic dates for the elections and not political dates that had them at the city of the African Union and he said to our colleague at Radio Kapi. Our correspondent from DRC, Freddy Tshisekedi. Freddy, hello.
Freddy, bonjour.
Yesterday in Kinshasa, you attended the meeting of the rally and gathering of the majority of the opposition. Tell us what happened.
For Felix
Tshisekedi, it's a provocation vis-à-vis the population. For him, the president of the Congolese Electoral Commission has to prove to the world whose side he is on, and that at the time has come to decree his departure together with Joseph Kabila by December 31st of this year. Felix Tshisekedi resorted to the resolution of the conclave of the rally to advocate a transition without Kabila at the head of DRC if the elections are not organized this year. But how is that? The son of the historical opponent is still in the morgues of Brussels, alludes to the use of Article 64 of the Constitution, but without giving the strategies of the implementation so that they are not thwarted. Do you think that the announcement of the president of INEC definitely binds the December 31 agreement between the power and the opposition? Yes, to the extent that the timing of the electoral process announced by Corneille Nangaa, chairman of the INEC, the Independent National Electoral Commission, is not in line with the terms of the agreement signed by on December 31st, 2016, 11 days after the expiration of Joseph Kabila's mandate under the bonds of Bishop and National Episcopal Conference of Congo. The INEC is asking for a period of 504 days more in a compressed manner after the closure of the operation of the enrollment of electors, already in its final phase in the provinces of Kasai, which started recently late in December because of the insecurity attributed to Kamuna Psapo phenomenon. The information had the effect of the bomb at the point of qualifying Nangaa of secular arms of the regime to postpone the indefinitely. Financial resources is the reason put forward by the INEC to justify the failure to meet the deadline, and a lot of people don't seem to believe that, and some even speak of forfeiture. It should be said that the period requested by the INEC to finalize the process raises a lot of questions. It is known that the operation that is more expensive and delicate is the revision of the electoral register. At this stage, 95% of the forecast have been reached.
Merci beaucoup, Freddy, d'avoir été avec nous.
Thanks a lot, Freddy, for joining us.
Un tout petit peu le point sur la situation politique.
Merci. Merci beaucoup. Okay, do stay with us here on the morning call on African News. Visit our website, www.africanews.com, to catch up on all of these stories and watch the morning call and indeed our other programs on African News. Also, for the news as it breaks, we are on Twitter at African News and at African News FR in French. Now, still to come on the program, Victor Muisio joins us a little later to bring us the latest from the world of sports. Plus, we have the Grand Angle segment and the latest round of business news from across Africa. All of that and more after the break.